Good morning, everyone. My name is Louise Golden from Clarity Crafts here in the UK. Welcome to Groovi Tuesday. So I'm just going to ramble a little bit until all of our lovely friends come into the room. It's quite a sunny day today, which is a nice change from yesterday and the day before. It was absolutely bucketing down with rain here. It feels quite cozy though when you're outside. Or when you're inside and you can hear the rain on the window and you've got a nice cup of tea in your hand or something. It's something cozy about autumn, and listening to rain outside is really lovely. So come on in. We're continuing with the Groovi Tuesday project that we've been working on the last 2-3 weeks, I believe. So the the Linda's Floral Gift Groovi Plate collection. So there was 4 of them. So I chose the primula, and then the bow is from the tulips, I believe. So that's really, really nice. So we've got a couple of weeks left on this project, which is nice. We're going to concentrate on the tool work today. So we'll create using the butterfly tool and the semicircle tool. So we'll be using those, and then we'll do a little bit of like embossing in it too. There's so many different ways you can emboss, and it can look so different depending on how you emboss. So you could perforate the same pattern as what I'm going to show you today, but you can emboss in so many different ways and make it look so different. You can cut in different ways as well, so which is always good. Sound is good, thank you, Paul. So Paul's going to be in the room with you today. As you can see, he's in the chat. So if you have any questions, just ask Paul, and if he needs to filter anything through to me, he can, which is great. So thank you, Paul. So yeah, it's been a really lovely morning so far. I got a few bits done. There's lots of exciting things coming in the next few weeks. So there's lots of prep work, and then we have our open days, less than a month away now. So we've got plans on all of that. So that's good as well. It's a bit of fun. So the gel press course on Saturday went well. I saw everybody's lovely artwork is starting to trickle through on the Clarity Worldwide page. So it's really, really lovely to see, as a lot of our friends do both stamp and stenciling and Groovi. So it's really nice to see on both Clarity Worldwide and Groovi Worldwide all of the lovely artwork that comes through from doing all of the courses, you know, whether it's Barbara's courses or it's Paul and my course with all of the Groovi side of things with white work and colour and perforating. It's not long now until the perforating course. That's going to be next month. We're in October, aren't we? Yes, next month. Gosh, that's less than a month away as well. It's amazing how quickly time has gone this year. I think time flies when you're having fun. So that's the main thing. At least we're having the fun. But it's nice when you can just enjoy the moment, enjoy the present day, which is nice. So we've got lots of friends in the room now, so it's lovely to see you. We'll get cracking on the project now. I think now we've got lots of friends in the room. So I always say the best thing to do when you're working with a new tool border is the same length as what you're going to create in your piece of artwork is the same length as maybe trying a template, just to see if it works. I mean, you can get on your A5 bit of parchment, if I show you here. So I've just tested the border there, because it's been such a long time since I've done this border. I was looking at it going this morning, you know, when you're having a little bit of a brain lapse. I forgot how I did it. So I had to look at it and just, I mean, it's not even that hard work, but this morning for some reason my brain couldn't get around it. So yeah, but I've got it there. It's only literally 2 butterfly tools in a semicircle, but for some reason my brain this morning did not compute. So yeah, it's always a good idea just to test it. So you could do the full length of that, and then you can go over your piece of artwork and see, you know, measure it, and then see how many of the tools you would need to go down your length of your page of the parchment. But I'm just going to literally just go right down, and we can work it out as we go along. But it's always good to have a little template just to test bits and pieces out. So I can show you the tool work. You could maybe do it on a bit of parchment, and then find different ways on how to emboss it to make it look so different. But I'm going to show you the way that I did here, and then we can have a little bit of fun, and maybe at home you just have like a line of this tool work, and just come up with different ways in which you think that you would like to emboss your tool work. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. So we need our butterfly tool. I'm going to move that out, and I'm going to come in so you can see what the tool looks like. Let me come in a little bit closer with my hand behind. It should focus. We'll get there. Let me put a bit of parchment in. There you go, it's coming. There you go, you can see it there. So it's kind of, yeah, it looks like a little, if you put it around that way, it would look like a little butterfly. So you've got the butterfly, and you need your semicircle. And that's just going on the outside. So let's see if camera 3 picks up. I don't know why I didn't do that to begin with. There you go. Well done, Paul. So there's the semicircle. See, told you, brain not working this morning. There we go. And the butterfly tool. So those are going to be the 2 tools that we're going to need today. So if I bring in my artwork, come onto the overhead. Oh, hello. Let's go on to, there we go. So it's close, but not too close. So we have our white line. Doesn't matter how strong your white line is, because we're going to rub it out later anyway. It's just literally just a way of knowing, you know, lining up your tool so you don't go all over the place. So yeah, so we get started on that. Okay, so what I have underneath is I have my black mat and then my Pico foam on top, because we don't need to do any deep perforating right now. We're just going to chill out and just do a little bit of shallow perforating. Move that down so we can see what we're doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do one line. Oh, that's not the right one. Butterfly tool. There we go. That's the right one. So all we're going to do is we're going to use the wider width of the needle tools on this side first. Okay, and you want to start right in the corner. Let me see if camera 3 will pick it up a bit better. Here we go. So we want to start right in the corner and the widest part first. So let me just do one to show you. I'll bring in my Groovi guard. Now also what you'll want to do beforehand, I'm going to mind out my, I already did this before, but you'll want to just put your tumble dryer sheet behind your artwork first, because at some point we're going to emboss here. So you want to make sure that it's proper, it's really like lubricated behind. It'll be a lot easier then when you come to emboss. Okay, so that's done behind. And also if you struggle with the tool work through one, oh hello, got Groovi sticker tab on my Groovi guard. Hold your artwork down with your Groovi guard, and also You can keep one at the side, so you can, if it's struggling to go through the parchment, you can give your tumble dryer a little perforate through the tumble dryer sheet, or you can lay it underneath your artwork, which makes it easier. Let me show you. If you struggle, okay. So you lay that down like so. You put your artwork over the top. I mean, you may struggle to see the white line a little bit more, but if you can see, if you want to do a stronger white line, so you can see the white line, put that underneath, and then you don't need to worry about keep on like using the tumble dryer sheet at the side of you. Okay, so I'm going to work my way all the way down, and what you're doing is you're going to, if I show you at the top, okay, I'll come in a bit closer so we can see. You're just hooking the previous hole into the next tool, and we're going to do that all the way down. Okay, so let me go back onto camera 3. Okay, and I'm going to go all the way down. And just line your tool up so you're on the white line. So my artwork is lubricated enough, I can't see. So I'm going to take the tumble dryer sheet out for me, because but at home, if you've got magnifying glass and everything at home, I've done my line quite light. So, and you're just working your way all the way down. I'll move my fingers out of the way. See, sometimes tool work looks very complicated when you see it, but it's only because there's a few layers of it, and then it's the way that you emboss makes it look even more intricate than what it is. So you look at it and you sometimes think, oh my God, how many tools is that? Oh, I'm coming out of shot. Let me go up here again. There we go. So continuing all the way down. Okay, and that line that we created, one line goes all the way down, and you don't need to stretch the tool at all or leave a gap, because sometimes when you get to the end you think, oh, I've got a little bit more of a gap, I need to either stretch the tool, which means when you go into the tool you can kind of slightly move it to make it a little bit longer. It works with some tools better than others. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go all the way around and just do that part first. I think that's the easiest way in which to show you this tool work. So I'm using the butterfly tool right now, Leslie, and I will be using the semicircle tool after that. But at the moment, this tool here is the butterfly tool. It's a really lovely tool, actually. Can create really, oh, hello, my fingers are in the way. Get out of the way. Creates really lovely borders, this does. Let me use my Groovi guard because we're on the edge of that and it's bending. There we go. It's better. So just following it along. Hope everybody's got a nice cup of tea or coffee, whatever your beverage is. Who else, when they're crafting, this happened last night with me, I was doing a little bit of watercolouring. I was using those new De La Brownie Aquafine watercolours that we have in stock. Really lovely and pigmented. I've created a really lovely scene with it. So I was having a play with those yesterday, and I made 2 cups of tea and both went cold. something happens when you craft. You go into a world of your own, and you forget that there is tea. It's yeah, happens a lot. And yeah, so the butterfly tool as well. If anybody doesn't have it, it's a really lovely tool, and it is in the sale at the moment that we have. We have an autumn sale at the moment. So if you see anything that you want, either today or 2 p.m. Later on, some things obviously aren't in the sale because they're new, but quite a lot of our stamp stencils, Groovi dies, they're all in the sale. So definitely have a little browse. It's so hard to resist sometimes. I have a few things in my basket. So yeah, I've seen some nice little bits and pieces that I need. Very hard to say no, isn't it, as a crafter? There we go. So that's one line, and I'm nearly finished. I've got my last line. I found a knack though. Sorry, fingers are in the way. I have found a knack though. I've managed to keep my tea warmer today. I thought I'll christen my my mug. I got it in Cornwall in the summer. The lady was putting bits in my basket, and she forgot to put it in. But they sent it because it was on the till. I bought it, but they didn't put it in my bag. I didn't notice. So I got home and realised it wasn't in my bag. So my stepmom, she rang up, and they very, very kindly sent it to me because they realised that there was one that was missing. So that was good. So that's all the way around. And yeah, it keeps my tea warm. It's a little, let me show you. Oh, hello, not that one. That one. It's a little St. Michael's Mount cup. I got it when I was at St. Michael's Mount in Cornwall. That's a really gorgeous place. Really lovely. It keeps the tea hot. I made this about 20 minutes ago. It's still hot. I can feel it's hot. So yeah, so that's nice. It's handy to have something like that when you're crafting. Yes, of course, Jean. I will show you the butterfly tool. I think it's better if I show you on the number 3. So that's the end of it. Oh. I'll get there in the end. Rip. It doesn't want to focus. Oh, sort of like that. So it's kind of, it's a bit like, I'm going to try. It's a bit like that. It's kind of got 2 wider holes at top, and then it kind of comes together at the bottom, but it will give you a slight curve. This is what it looks like when it's perforated. So you've got, let me show you over here. So those are the needles, and it kind of creates, oh, hello. There we go. Yeah, it's very handy to have that banner at the top so you know exactly what's happening this week. Very handy for me as well, because my brain sometimes forgets what's going on. You know, when you're a bit tired, so you think, oh, what is going on with my life? There we go. Okay, so the next stage is, apart from the corners, apart from these corners here, we're going to forget they exist for a minute. I know it's sad, isn't it? And what we're going to do is we're going to hook the widest 2 needles Oh, that's a semicircle tool. Why have I got a semicircle tool in my hand? Doi. Right, let's try again, Danny. Okay. So we're going to forget the corners. I wonder why it was too wide. And so it's going to look like that. Okay. So, and you would just hook it into the opposite side. So you're now working on the inside of the artwork, and you've turned your work around, and you are now meeting the two on the inside. So you've got that tool that way. So you've got that tool like we did this way. So we've gone on the outside. Let's do it here. Okay, so you've gone on the outside, and now you're turning your artwork around, keeping the tool still, and hooking the two needles in like that. Okay. So we're going to do that and all the way down again. And we're going to forget that Louise put a semicircle tool in her artwork. We'll forget about that. Luckily, it doesn't matter about mine because it's yours that's important, not mine. There we go. Right, let's move this in again. Okay, but let's move it that way because I'm working on this side. I've done that a couple of times. I've been talking too much and then I made a mistake. There's 2 mistakes I've made on this project, you know. And it's good to actually show that because it does show you that we all make mistakes. Would I be able to rescue that? Well, what I could do is, thinking about it, you could always, if you make a mistake right at the beginning, so say here, here's my mistake. I picked up the wrong tool because I was jabbering on. So what you could do is you could do, if you make a mistake like that, where's my semicircle tool now? Put it back. You could then maybe put the semicircle tool here and make it part of the pattern if you wanted to. So obviously down here I already started. I started that tool work. But maybe what I could do is just to make it part of the scenery. I could do it there, and I could also do it on the opposite side, so diagonally. What's that word again? Let me come out a little bit. So I've put that there. So what I could do is I could put it here too. You don't have to do this. This is just because I made a mistake. And I'm trying to rectify it by making it part of the project. So then just say that you could just make it part of the project there. We'll bring it in a little bit more. Okay, so you could, if you make a mistake, there's always ways of which you can salvage it. Okay, so it's always good to know things like that because mistakes happen, especially when you're working with grid work and tool work. Mistakes happen. You know, it's everybody makes mistakes. There we go. So yes, so mistake number 2. This was mistake number 1. I was jabbering on a bit then too, and I forgot what I was doing. Okay. Yes, that's a nice way of putting it, Lynn. It's not a mistake, it's creativity. Yes, I think that's a lot better. Right, let's make sure I've got the right tool in my hands. Yes, it's the right tool. He's like, you calling me a tool? Right, so I'm going to move it this way. Okay, so we're just going to carry on down here with the right tool. Yep, double checked, right tool. It is live. We are live. So we're just going to go all the way down and hook on the inside. Yeah, never get upset when you make a mistake. It's easy to do. You know, it's easy to, you know, sometimes when you've done so much work on something and all of a sudden right near where you're going to finish or right on the intricate bits, you know, it goes wrong. What you could do if you really stuffed it up, what you could do is, actually I saw a really lovely card that looked a little bit similar to this morning. So what you could do is you could picot cut all the way around your flowers and your ribbon and put that on a separate piece of parchment, which you can then do your tool work on that side. So you could work in layers then. That would look nice. Or you could picot cut, say you really stuffed up the border, not saying you would, but if I stuffed up the border, what I could do then is that, you know, I could either put picot cut it around it, or I could use my picot squares or something like that, you know, to just, you know, make it a little bit different, and then you could just work and put that layer on top of your tool work layer, so that would look nice as well. Just a thought. Okay, so we're gonna do the same on the inside here. I'm bringing in my Groovi card again. Don't forget to leave the corners as well. So if I show you from above, there you go. So I've left the two corners, okay? Because obviously when you put one in here, you can't then put one in there. That's why we're leaving the corners. Picot foam's going off somewhere. There we go. Let's go back onto the third camera. Is good for this, isn't it? Can you see, everybody? Can we see? Let me move that up a bit. Hold on. There we go. Right. We're working all the way down on the inside again, still, leaving the corner one. So I checked out on my my phone this morning, because I always get interested by what National Day is today. Some of them are a little bit more serious than others, and you think, how does that have its own day? So you have a National Day of Writing, which is good really, because I think we always you know, we text a lot and we do everything on computers, and I think sometimes it's nice to write, journal or write or something like that. And then you have Youth Confidence Day, so National Youth Confidence Day. So that's giving confidence to young people. I think as you get older as well, I do think you get more confident with yourself and your own opinions. I remember when I was a teenager, I was so shy and you know, I'd have such bad anxiety about doing things like, you know, where you have to stand in front of the class. Or I used to, as soon as I was told I had to do something like that, I would freak out until it came to it. And oh my gosh, the heat would rise to my head and I'd feel sick, and it's awful. It's a lot easier now. I think I'd be proud of myself back then, how I am now, to how I was back then. I really struggled with confidence and self-esteem and just being able to talk to people. And how I am now, it wouldn't matter to me now. So I really do think confidence does come with age. And then you have the weirder ones. So you've got National Chicken and Waffles Day and National Branded Fruit Day. Now, wouldn't you think that Branded Fruit Day would have been nearer to Christmas? Mind you, if you're going to make a Christmas cake, a lot of people make their Christmas cake months in advance, don't they? I remember my grandma used to make it months in advance, and then she used to douse it and soak it in. It's either sherry or brandy, I can't remember. It didn't taste nice, whatever it was. Sherry or brandy. I'm not really a sherry or brandy kind of person. Star point tool. Yeah, I suppose it would. It would look slightly different, but it would work in instead of the butterfly tool. I would say so. I don't actually have a star point tool on me right now to show you, but it would work the same in effect. So from above, you would have the star point. Hold on, where was I? You'd have the star point tool, and you could do the same as what you've done here. So do the one on the outside and then turn it and do the one on the inside. And then you could probably attach the semicircle to that as well, because the semicircle, you also have the semicircle mini, which is also very good. But the semicircle's got very, very wide needles. It's probably one of the widest tools that we have, which is why sometimes I'll use it a lot, because it's the width of the tool is a lot wider than some of the others. But yeah, the star point tool would work too. That would look very, very nice. I think I did a border at some point with the star point tool recently. So that's nice. Okay, so once you've done that, so now you should have something that looks like that. So you've gone on the outside all the way down, and then you've turned your tool 180 degrees, and you've gone all the way in the inside. Okay. Where's my lid? I did it a minute ago. There's only so many places it can go. Oh, I put it upside down there. Have you seen my tool caddy? This is so funny. It's got Groovi tabs all over it, and then on this side I've put the cap upside down. But it's behind my perga cutters, so I didn't see it. There we go. Before I perforate myself. Okay, so we now have the semicircle tool, Louise says. Okay, so as we can see, there's my arm. As you can see on here, let's go to the corner. So this is where we've left the gap. So you've just got that little tool there. That makes a really, really nice border as well. If you just wanted to do one layer all the way down, this is what it would look like. So you could put a little white dot in this little bit here. And isn't that really pretty? And then what you could do is, if you wanted to double layer your tool work, so have one layer of parchment behind the other, you could put this behind and put that in front, and double layers of tool work on parchment looks really pretty. Maybe have one embossed underneath with coloured parchment, and on the top just have your plain parchment with this effect, which would look really, really pretty. So yeah, so as you can see here, we're kind of doing the semicircle tool. So we leave this part here. Let me bring it closer here. Hello. There we go. So then what we can see here is we're kind of doing one semicircle. So you want to do it from the outside here to the outside there. So let me show you just one. Do you see? So we've done the outside dot, and we've linked that one with the outside dot of the second tool. And then what you'll want to do then is you want to leave a gap, and you'll want to then do it on the next one. Okay, so we've got the tool there. So we've left that one. We've gone from the outside to the outside of the second tool, and then we've left a gap in between, and then we've done the semicircle again on the outside hole of that needle tool and the outside hole of the second. Okay, and then leave a gap again. So we leave this part here. If you need to kind of block it out before, you could always just put a little dot so you know where you are perforating. So say that dot's your gap. Okay, so then you would go into that one, and we're going to do that all the way down. Okay, so we've got that dot there. If you don't need the dot, then that's fine. What you may want to do as well is just make the dots a tiny bit bigger on the outside. Just a tiny bit, and it seems to hook in better. And sometimes you may, with the smaller ones, you may just need to stretch the semicircle a little bit to fit even if it's just those two, just to make it kind of fits in easier that way then. Because I think when the holes are slightly smaller, I just don't think it's wide. It kind of falls a tiny, like a millimetre short. So again, just those two, and it slots in a lot easier then. Okay, and we'll do that again. So always leaving the gap all the way down. Okay. Don't worry too much if it's slightly slightly comes off a little bit, because once you've done your embossing and you've cut it out, you won't really see that. So it's not the end of the world. Okay, so it's a little bit wider, and then it slots in a lot easier, like that. Let's go up a little bit. See, once you break it down, it's a little bit easier, isn't it? It doesn't look so scary. I find sometimes the best thing is I look at people's artwork or projects online. I kind of break down, like for an intricate lace board, I'll break it down in my head and kind of think, right, what tool have they used? Because sometimes a lot of some of the intricate work, you can see 6 or 7 layers of tool work around the outside. There we go. So that is the outside line. So again, I would leave that gap there. Okay, so we're not doing that little bit there. Because that's going to be our nice little corner, like that. Okay, so that is one line. So we're going to carry on and do the other side. Leslie asks what plate this is. So this is Linda's floral gift Groovi plate collection. There's 4 of them. There's a primula, which is what this one is. Then there's the tulip, the rose, tulip rose. I'm missing one. What am I missing? Tulip, rose, primula, and Paul. What's the other one? Help. My brain. See, my brain's a bit doolally today. I don't know what it's doing today. But there's a set of 4, and I use the tulip for the bow, and the primula is the flowers. They're very nice set, actually. They're really pretty. Linda used those for the last retreat. Oh yeah. Right, so I'm going to start from the top. So again, we're going to leave that tool. Of course, how could I forget dahlia? I love dahlias. Tulip, dahlia, primula, and rose. Thank you, Paul. Okay, so again, we want to reperforate the holes just a little bit, just so that we can hook the semicircle in. Louise says, making sure that it is the semicircle. Right, where's my just borrow my Groovi card. Okay, so making sure that you are. Oh, hello, can't see. Okay, so making sure that we're just leaving that gap. If I go on to the third one, it might be easier to see. Is it easier for you to see? Oh, good. I'm glad it's not just me. Yeah, I think it's yeah, sometimes with my fibromyalgia, my brain doesn't compute sometimes. In the wrong hole. But it's okay. I'm doing what I love, and that's the most important thing. You have to enjoy your life. But yeah, if you haven't got the that little aqua file, if you like watercolouring or mixed media, the little watercolour tin that we got in recently is really, really pigmented. The pigments are really, really good. It's got a really good combination of colours, and which you can mix with other colours. I thought that's because I have a plan on some birthday Christmas presents this year. I can't say too much because people I want to give the presents to might be watching. So I can't say anything. Okay, so I'm just continuing all the way down. Just re-perforating if needed, just that. You don't just need to do the one hole really, you don't need to do all of them, because if you do all of them, you're going to weaken the parchment, and we're going to emboss soon, so that's why I'm only just doing the outside ones that are needed. But yeah, so I mean, I think all of the, if you haven't got a tool that you might need at some point, then best to get it now, because the got a big autumn sale. Oh yeah, Paul's just put that up there. It's up to 70% off on some items, so it's really worth just having a look, grabbing anything that you've had your eye on for a while, like me. I have a few things in my basket. I think we're like kids in a candy shop sometimes when we ask crafters. I always said that there's two hobbies. When you're a crafter, there's two hobbies. There's the hobby where you like buying craft stuff, and there's the hobby where you actually use the craft stuff. So I have both hobbies. I see something come out and I think, oh, that's got to be mine. I've got to have that in my house, which I can use. It's just they're just necessities. They are essential. Let me bring my Groovi card in again. It's just so much easier with the Groovi card. Anything Pergamano, or most things Pergamano, I'll say, not all things Pergamano, in the sale. If there's any tools that you need, definitely best to get it now. There we go. Let's have a little bit of a cup of tea. See if it's oh, it's nice and hot. Although first time I used it, I did wash it out, but it has a particular taste to it. I gave it a good wash with maybe that's what I'm tasting, the washing up liquid. But it's a very nice colour. Definitely can't miss it. But St Michael's Mount was gorgeous. I don't know if you've never gone. I was in awe of it. We went up into the gardens, and it's, you know, you keep on going up and up and up in these gardens, and it's truly a stunning place. Just we managed to, when it was low tide, we managed to walk over. I think sometimes because you just want to take pictures and capture the memory. Sometimes you can sometimes not experience it the same way. So I made sure, because my dad went there before. He took loads of photos, so I could just experience walking over all the cobbles, making sure that I didn't fall flat on my face. And it's an absolute gorgeous place. We walked over the cobbles. We had to get the boat back, but the cafe there was really nice. They even had some gluten-free brownies, which were to die for. They were absolutely gorgeous. And we had a nice cup of tea. And then we went into the castle. That was gorgeous. Absolutely. I love going into like castles, and Hever Castle is very close to us in Edenbridge. It's not that far away at all. We actually stayed. There's a little bed and breakfast on the actual Hever Castle grounds, and we stayed there. Me and my mum, we stayed there once, and it was amazing. The breakfast was really nice too, but yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous. I loved it. Yeah, I like castles. So historical. And I've always loved Tudor history and Elizabethan history. So Hever Castle, because it's was the home of Anne Boleyn. I absolutely really enjoy going around the castle and the gardens. Got to go every year though, just to experience it again. We were watching this really good programme about it's called The Witches of Essex. It's a documentary following the witch trials in Essex. I think Ryland Clark and somebody else host it. But it was really good actually. It was it's a really good documentary about, I really feel sorry for those women, because all it was women turning on women and rumours, and back in the day they might have thought that they did something but they didn't, and yeah, it's really sad. Right, let me go overhead. There we go. So when it's finished, it will look like that. I've done all the sides, all the way around. So when it's finished, it should look like that, which is nice. So now, once you've created that, maybe create a couple of lines of doing the same thing, and try and find different ways of embossing it. If you didn't want to emboss it the way I have here, there's so many different ways in which you can emboss to make it look slightly different. So maybe try and find different ways to emboss if you didn't want to follow this way. But what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to finish off the tool work in here and along this ribbon as well. So I think I'll do the ribbon first, because I have the semicircle tool here. So I created, I created 2 white lines, again the same way with the white pencil and a ruler, just so that I know where I have my tool work. So I'm just going along the white line. Okay. And then going down along the white line too. There we go. So we just created a little thing, and what's going to happen after that is let me just bring in my black mat. We're kind of going to How many did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I did 7 actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I need another one. Hold on. Back to the Pico foam. I've just got to do one more. So one more along the ribbon. There we go, just like that. And then what I need to do then, what did I need to do? Oh yeah. I'm going to turn my mat onto the soft side again. Just to, what you want to do is kind of create, just with your right line, a little flap like that. Okay. But we're going to cut around this as well. Yeah, just like that. We're going to do a little bit of embossing in here as well. Again, with this, you can emboss any way you like. I did a little flower inside, but you can do whatever you want. The choice is yours. Right, back to the hard side of the black mat, and bringing in Pico foam. I'm going to put this. I'm going to do some white work on this. Just to. It's going to be part of the design now. There we go. Just create that white. Okay. So Pico foam down, and I'm going to bring in the butterfly tool for this bit. This is our last little bit of tool work. The next week we can tackle the embossing. So all we're going to do with this is, I'm going to start from here, is just follow the circle round. Oh, can you see? There we go. Just like that. All the way around. There we go. So that is our little element. Obviously, this is just part of the decor now. That's going to be part of it. Mistakes made into creativity. I think that's such a good way of putting it. Okay, so if I show you, if I come out a little bit, this is where we are. So I've done the tool work for the ribbon. I've done the tool work around this little bit. And then we've done 2 layers of the butterfly tool. And then on the outside, we've left a little gap. And then we've done the semicircle tool. So like that. And then, so if you wanted to, you could do a couple of strips like this on a bit of parchment, scrap parchment, maybe here if you wanted to, and just find little different ways of embossing. We can have a go at that next week as well. Have a little few goes at different ways of embossing. I will just do little doodles and figure things out as I go along. It's kind of how I work sometimes. I just go, oh, what about this? Would that work? And what about if I try that? So yeah, so that is where we are, like so. So if you wanted to have a little go at embossing on little templates, or if you feel confident to do your own embossing on here this week, you can. Otherwise, next week, we're going to focus on the embossing side of all the tool work. So that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. All right, so that hour went really, really quickly, actually. I think it's good to know, though, that you can, mistakes don't mean you've messed it up completely. You can work around mistakes sometimes, especially with tool work, because your artwork, for example, this tool work around the outside, there's so much of it, and there's so many different ways of embossing it on scrap that you wouldn't notice one particular tool that went wrong, unless you were really studying it and, you know, looking for mistakes. So it's always good to just work with mistakes. If mistakes happen, there's always ways of rectifying it. So don't worry about that. She says, talking to herself, don't worry about the mistake, Louise. But no, so today, Paul and myself are back at 2 p.m. We're going to show you 4 new Christmas plates. They are really, really, really stunning. I really enjoyed working with them, actually, because you can use them in different ways, which is nice. So we have lots of lovely design team work to show you. I'll have a demo, but yeah, we're going to show you all 4 plates. And then on Friday, we have shows at 10 and 2 as well. There is a Clarity banner at the top of the website, as well as saying about the autumn sale. There's also one that has a little timetable of what's happening this week. And then I think it's starting to be every week now, because we had one last week. So it's really good. Just check on the banner to see what's happening this week, so you know what's going on. But yeah, so thank you very much, Paul, for helping out in the room and sending through very helpful snippets. I forgot the dahlia. I can't believe I forgot the dahlia. I love dahlias. But yeah, so I will see you at 2 p.m. with Paul, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. So yeah, see you then. Take care, everyone. Bye.